Hello guys, yes, I got a shower. Well, that's not relevant. But, well, anyway, today we are going to be reviewing what's behind me, my coin collection. I gave you guys a tour a few months ago, and I'm going to make a follow-up of all the coins I've collected over the past, year, basically 2023. I started in January, and now it's almost the end of February. I was going to make this and release it on Christmas of 2023, but I didn't do that, and that's why I don't make promises. And, well, let's stop jibber-jabbering. Let's get into this collection. So up here we got 1932 to 1964 quarters, 65 to 1999 quarters, or 98 quarters, 99 to 2009 quarters, or state and territory quarters, state park quarters, 1945, actually no, not 1945, but 1964 to 2023, dimes, wheat pennies, also known as 1909 to 1958 pennies, 1959 to modern day pennies. We got the dollar coins, we got the dollars as in like the Eisenhower dollar and Susan B. Anthony, Sacagawea dollar, presidential dollar. We got our nickels, which is 1938 to modern day, and 1964 to 2002 Kennedy half dollars. Let's get into it. Before we get on to it, I'm just going to mention this. Yes, my setup is messy. I literally have no storage areas, or not really good storage in my basement. I could all cram the coins into a jar, but if I do that, I'll never be able to distinguish them from each other ever again. So yeah, mind the mess. Also, we're going to be going over every single series of coin I actually collect, and a little brief history and some facts that you might want to know. Okay, so this is called the Washington Quarter, and they were made from 1932, and they're still being made today. However, this is the silver variant. So you might be wondering, why is that all weird looking right there? That's a silver quarter, and they're worth roughly $5 instead of 25 cents. They, of course, they were made from 1932, and they stopped making them in 1964 when the United States government was running out of silver to mint coins. And in 1965, they finally switched to a nickel-cladded copper core quarter. And they would do this with dimes as well. Nickels were just made of nickel, and they were not ever made of silver, except for a few years, which I'll get into later. Next is the 1965 to 1998 Washington Quarter. So, as previously mentioned, in 1965, the United States Mint switched to a copper core coin with nickel on it, and this is what they would do for the rest of the coin series. As before, silver was getting expensive. They could not afford to make coins in silver anymore, so that stopped very quickly. Although silver half dollars would continue later. I'll also get into that later. But another really interesting thing to note is that in 1976, the government made bicentennials. There they are. And there's actually a really good thing to know about these. 1975s do not exist. So yeah, to celebrate 200 years of America being America, there were there's one design of bicentennial. I meant to say two mints. There's a Philadelphia right here and Denver here. Here's what the reverse looks right here. You've probably seen these in circulation. Next is the state quarters. In 1999, the Mint wanted to make commemorative coins that would help celebrate the states and would kind of give more arts appeal to the quarter. Sorry for my mess up and stumble. So, these started in 1999 and ended in 2008, and in 2009, they made the territorial quarters. And as you can tell, there are 50 designs of every quarter and 6 designs of territorial quarters. Multiply this by 2 mints, and you get roughly 112 different coins to collect for this series alone. And if you actually don't know, the 2009 ones are a little bit tougher to get, especially this one right here. Next is the state park quarters, but because I have all the Philadelphias and Denvers, I'm only going to show half the book because it's kind of falling off the edge. So these are not to be confused with state quarters. State quarters were made from 1989 to 2009. However, state quarters were made from 2010 to 2021. Yeah, they just ended these. So this is my Denver side. So these are all Denver minted coins. And a little fun fact, 2019s and 2020s have a rare chance of being a W mint mark, which these quarters are worth roughly $20 at the bare minimum. And in circulation as of 2023, I calculated the odds of getting a W mint is roughly 1 in 4,400. And I've gone through $1,000 bags and I've only seen at most 4 W mints per bag. So these are not all W mints. I'll show you that later. I actually have them in my bedroom. Next up are Roosevelt dimes. In 1945, yes, I'm correct, Roosevelt lost a long battle to a disease and died. Well, yeah, that's what I meant by lost his battle. Anyway, to celebrate him, the mint made Roosevelt dimes, starting in 1945. These are 1965 to modern day Roosevelt dimes. The reason is that the 45s through 64s, just like quarters, are silvers, containing about 90% silver. Now, hopefully I don't get burned in my comments for this, but dimes are probably my least liked coins because they're small, they're difficult to pick up, more difficult than pennies to pick up. They don't have a whole lot of art on them, right? Like, you have wheat pennies, you have Indian heads, you have bicentennial pennies, you have quarters, you have state quarters, you have nickels, there's like buffalo nickels, there's all that. But like for dimes, there's not really that much except for silver dimes. I do collect those. You can even see that I don't even have these 2 dimes. I could definitely go get these, but I'm just lazy to get them. Now, we're going to get to the coin that started my journey, that started this entire, fiasco of coin collecting, at one of the most beloved coins of all. Give it up for the wheat penny. Okay, so to preface this, I think the only 2 pennies in here that I've bought are this one and this one. But it is unarguable that wheat pennies are my favorite coin. In fact, these are actually the very first coin I've collected. I found my very first wheat penny over 6 years ago and forgot about the hobby, but then in Christmas of 2022, I decided to get right back into that hobby and start collecting wheat pennies. And I started at 14, and now I'm roughly at 2,600 wheat pennies, or probably roughly 2,300. Anyway, I'm above 2,000 wheat pennies, and I've only bought 1,100 of them. So, wheat pennies were made from 1909 to 1958. There are 27.5 billion of them, with the most common being the 1944 Philadelphia cent. In 1943, they had to make steel cents because they had to use the copper for the war effort. The 1909 is the very first year. They used to make VDBs on the back, but due to a controversy that they were accusing Victor David Brenner, which is what VDB stands for, putting his initials on the back of the penny. That got a lot of controversy, and it caused the VDB pennies to be subsequently canceled. And there's only 20,000 of these that have actually made it out in the mint, according to some estimates. So yeah, this is the rarest penny, and even trashy conditions of a 1909 VDB-S sell for big bucks. I've seen only one, and it was for sale for $900. So yeah. Again, really quick fact, if you find a 43 copper or a 44 steel or a 58 double die, those are very rare and they can actually net you a lot of money. So yeah, I love wheat pennies. Giving it up for the memorial penny. So one thing I forgot to mention is that the 1909 penny was made because it is the 100-year anniversary ever since Lincoln's birth. He was born on 1809, so the wheat penny was made in 1909. However, the memorial penny was made in 1959, 150 years after his birth. Today, this is one of the Earth's most common coins, with over 550 billion memorial pennies minted. That's right, over 500 billion of these things exist. So don't worry about losing a memorial cent. They are extremely common. And in fact, they might be the most common penny or the most common coin on planet Earth. And more facts to know, from 59 to 1982, some 82s, there were copper cents where they have 95% copper and other metals. However, the government, of course, was going broke and they could not mint the penny. So between destroying it completely and letting it go on, they had to change to zinc cord pennies with a copper coating. Small fact about these, do not let your pet swallow them because they are more toxic than copper pennies. It's actually a whole thing. So there are a lot of these variants right here. And yeah, they each have a lot of variants, by the way. Sorry if I have that long pause. Now, the copper pennies usually get dull very fast, which are anything before 82. But look at these copper pennies. I have managed to find these copper pennies in very shiny condition. And a lot of the S-mints you see, I have a shiny S, but this one actually made its way back to San Francisco. I took it to me with my luggage on my plane, and I went right back to the San Francisco Mint, took my picture there, and left. So this penny actually made a round trip. And in 2010, or should I say starting in 2009, they made the bicentennial penny, which celebrates 200 years of after Lincoln's birth and 100 years of the Lincoln cent. So these are the 100th year of Lincoln cents. These are one of the longest running coins that has not been canceled yet. In 2010 onward, they made the brand new shield reverse. And, well, in 2019, there's a W-mint version of these. I forgot to mention, in 1996, there's a W-minted dime, but I have not really found that yet. And yeah, I forgot to actually put my new coins here. I don't even know why I don't have them. But yeah, that is the memorial penny. Next up is dollars. So for many, many, many decades, the United States Mint had made these large dollars, and they have made them at 90% silver. However, in the 30s, due to the Pittman Act, they were almost completely destroyed. Half of all Morgan dollars were melted down and turned into peace dollars, which, in my opinion, look a little bit creepy. And then they stopped those, and they started making these after a long, long wait back in the 30s. This is the Eisenhower dollar. And there's a lot of critics that say that this is a little bit of a, quote, ugly coin, which I don't really think it's the ugliest coin, but I can tell because there's not a whole lot of background. And in 1975 and 76, they made a bicentennial variant of these. And they made them for both mints, of course, but these Eisenhower dollars had a very short run because just look at them. Just look at a penny compared to them. They are extremely large. And, of course, they were very heavy to carry around. However, here's where the controversy sets in. These are called Susan B. Anthony's, and they are probably America's most hated coin. Well, on the back of the Susan B. Anthony dollar, you pop one out. Never mind. There is a eagle landing on a lunar surface. It looks roughly like this. It's the exact same reverse. And Susan B. Anthony is a woman's suffragist movement. Sorry if I just butchered that name. And there was a lot of controversy comparing women's suffrage to the moon landing, which I'm not going to delve in that issue. I don't want to get into the politics and meaty, greedy bullcrap that is the Susan B. Anthony dollar controversy. But just look, 360 million, and now it plummeted to 27 million minted. And after 81, look, 3 million. These are very rare variants of the Susan B. Anthony. Nobody loved this coin. And then afterwards, they tried to revive it, but it never stuck. And another thing that people complain about this coin, which I definitely agree with, is just, let's take a quarter. Let's take a quarter. Look, the exact same size, almost. and they're easily indistinguishable from quarters or even half dollars. Anyway, that's the dollar. Next, we got small dollars, Sacagawea dollars. Sorry if I cannot talk today. Made from 2000 to 2008. This is a very short run of coin, and I think everybody knows about the Sacagawea dollar coin. This time, instead of making a gray coin, they made a brand new color which has not been seen before, not including the gold, like eagles. There is a new color, which is brass, but it's not brass that's making this color. It's actually manganese, which they use in this coin. And if you actually don't know, roughly 1 in every 2,000 Wheaties boxes or cereal boxes back in the year 2000 had one of these coins inside of it. So this is one of the very rare instances where the mint has actually interacted with a company to distribute its coins instead of just sending them to banks. And yeah, very short run, although there are like invention coins, but I do not have a book for them. Next is the presidential dollars. These are made from 2007, and the latest batch came out in 2016, I believe. And they start with George Washington, and of course make their way over to the later presidents. I'm sorry if I can't get good light, but you know, I guess it's a given. I've noticed that these presidents over here are rare, and there are these coins. They go and end at a Barack Obama, which actually Barack Obama might be one of the only people to be put onto a coin that is still alive, because you know, people like Wilson are obviously dead. Roosevelt is gone as well, but a lot of these new presidents are probably very, very, well, the only people to actually see their faces on a coin and live. There have actually not been any Trump or Biden coins minted, and I do not know of any plans to make such. Okay, so I'm actually editing this video like a month after I'm filming this, and I actually got this new information about the dollar coin for the presidency dollars that I think you're gonna love. Okay, so basically, these dollars were shipped out at $1 per dollar, right? So you take a credit card, you go to the Mint website, and you could buy this coin. They'd cover the shipping, they'd give you your dollar coin, okay? So you gave $1 of yours, and they gave you $1 right back. No fees, no taxes, no shipping. Here's where it got a little bit interesting, is that people would use their credit card bonuses to order these coins in bulk, and then actually get points, because they'd spend like $1 and they'd get $1.02 back. So they'd keep farming and farming and farming. And so therefore, I think a reason why a lot of presidential dollars are in circulation are because of this reason. A man reportedly did this and banked off 2.4 million of these coins. And after a while, the mint said no and limited it to like roughly 10,000 every 10 days. So yeah, fun fact for you. Next are the Jefferson nickels, but I'm going to have to rotate these. So the first page is 1938 to 1961. So the Jefferson nickel was first introduced to replace the half dime. And in 1942 to 1945, they made a war nickel, which has the giant mint mark on the back. Now, these contain 35% silver and no nickel at all, because nickel can actually be used for tank armor. And so, therefore, because of the war, we actually had to take the nickel out of nickels for a while. Sorry if I have that weird grammatical issue. And, well, if you're going to notice, yes, I have a 1950 Philadelphia nickel. This one of the rarest nickels, with the rarest being 1950 Denver, and the rarest war nickel being the 1943 Denver. Another thing to note about these coins, the war nickels, is that they wear down extremely quickly. Like, look at this. This is 1946, and there's a 1945. It's because the alloy was made very quickly without any testing at all and worn the coin down. Next is this is the wrong page. Next is 1962 to 1995. They continued the Jefferson nickel as per usual. And finally, we enter to 1996 to 2023, or modern day, where in 2004 and 2005, they made the Westward Journey nickels, which are featuring 4 designs, celebrating our westward movement, and are really beautiful designs. And yes, the iconic Buffalo nickel kind of gets a throwback right here, although I think the older Buffalo nickel has a buffalo facing the left, and you'll obviously be able to tell a difference, as this is newer and the old ones are aged. And yeah, 2009 is the rarest of this book because of the garbage economy back then. They were going to make uncirculated W mints, but because of COVID, they never were able to make that. Last but not least are Kennedy half dollars. In November of 1963, President JFK was assassinated, and the mint scrambled to get a coin to celebrate him. And, well, we got the Kennedy half dollar. The Kennedy half dollar was silver, and it was silver from 1964 to 1969. In the 1970 Denver, there are absolutely no circulating coins. They are only issued in mint sets. But a fun fact, 1964 silvers are 90% silver, and the other ones are 40%. And these coins, if I'm not wrong, are the only circulating coins to have silver in them after 1965. So the silver variants are actually very hard to find because people pick these all the time, and with every day they grow very slim. Population of silver half dollars grow very slim. And in 1975 and 76, they issued the bicentennial variant, which I have a lot of. And these continued, however, the half dollar, if you actually look at the mintages, the half dollar slowly started to dwindle out of popularity. For example, it started off with 273 million by the end of this book, from 64 to 85. It was down to 19 million, and the trend continues on this book, 22 million, 14 million, and it goes down to the low tens of millions. And then it even gets down to 2002, where it even gets down to 2.5 million coins, with 5 million of each coin minted. That doesn't seem like, that seems like a whole lot of coins, but 300 million compared to 2.5 is a very big difference. Anything after 2003 is where it gets considerably rare, and that's why I do not collect them after that. I do actually keep some. For example, right here is in 2004, but I don't have them in a book because I know that it's going to be very hard to complete. But hey, that's a challenge if I'm ever waiting. Okay, so that's my collections, and that represents the best of the hoards, the quote hoards of coins I have. And I'm going to introduce you to the hoards of coins that I actually keep. And well, let's go. Also, when I speak of collecting the hoards of coins, I'm only going to be speaking from 2023 numbers, and I'll report my 2024 numbers at the end of this year or the beginning of next. The first hoard I have is the wheat penny, and over the span of 2023, I collected 2,387 wheat pennies, with 1,056 of them purchased. The next hoard I have is bicentennials, which are 2009 pennies, and I found 1,354 of these. Next are woodies, which, if you don't know, I've named them myself, and these have streaks going through them. It might be hard to see, but yeah, you can probably notice there's streaks going through this penny, and it makes it look like a piece of wood, and I found 1,246 of these. Then the last are the 2017 Philadelphia issued pennies, the only penny to have the P mint mark on the obverse, and I have 1,434 of these. Last are Canadian pennies, and I found 525 of these, which, if you don't know, if you live in Canada, you might actually recall that these were canceled in 2013. They no longer make these, sadly. So, Canadian pennies are no longer made. Next, I have S-Mint pennies, which I've searched 55 boxes, roughly that, last year, and for them from Cali. And of the 688 S-Mints in this jar, 115 of them came from those 4 boxes. Just wow. Next up, I'm going to be doing nickels, and these are Westward Journey nickels, and I have 1,412 of these. Next are S-Minton nickels, and I only have 131 of these. I don't really spot them too often. Can't see the S-Mint mark. There you can. Very hard to see though. Finally, we have war nickels, and this is obviously not all of them, but I have 20 of them, including ones in capsules and in storage. And yeah, they're just war nickels. I don't really hoard dimes. They're in the silver stash, which I will actually give that info in the end. Next are the bicentennials, and not including anything in the book, I have 1,032 of those. Next are 2009 quarters plus 2019 Guam quarters, just because I like Guam quarters. There's a Guam quarter right there, and here's a bunch of 2009 territory quarters, is 19 Guam. Yeah, just I overall really like these coins. And I have 731 of them, with about 173 shiny ones in the cabinet, right over there. Here are the shiny ones I have. They're in very mint condition, and I have them sealed in a bag to preserve them. Here's a bunch of state quarters in here that are like very, very brand new and almost in mint condition, and I have them sealed with a rubber band. That way I can keep them airtight, and I won't let them, you know, react with the air. Next is Philadelphia Minted Women Quarters, which the Philadelphia Minted Women Quarters are a little bit more uncommon in my area, and I have about 587 of those. Sorry if this is messy, but these are my W mints, and there are about 30 of these. It took me a ton of time to collect, but after 2023, I actually got a full set of W mints. A full beautiful set, and that took me ages. Next up are, or probably last of the hoards, is half dollars, which the bicentennial, and I have 393 of these, and that is where, like, I don't know, half my spending money went. And as a bonus, these are not included in the final silver stash, but I have 7 Walking Liberty dollars. I love these. Here is my silver stash, and fun fact, this jar is the very first vessel I used to hold all my wheat pennies. So my wheat pennies came in this jar, and they were stored in this jar until it obviously got too full, and I had to get another one. These are my silver coins and my golden coins. I have 2 silver dollar coins, 8 half dollars, 8 silver half dollars, 33 silver quarters, and 63 silver dimes, as well as a golden large dollar and a golden Susan B. Anthony dollar. And yeah, these are all my silver coins. Like if you take dimes, if you all hear that, how light that is. And this is probably at least $100 of silver in all of its value combined. And fun fact, I even found a Canadian penny that is silver over there. And yeah, that's basically it. Well, guys, that is my video. I hope it wasn't way too long. I might have gotten carried away there, but anyway, that is my review for 2023. In all hopes, I think this isn't a hobby that I'm going to leave behind. I'm definitely going to invest a lot more of my time and a bit more of my money into this hobby. And I'm actually, as I'm talking about this, You know, I've did this video. I filmed this 2 months late. I had another one, but I actually trashed it, and I just started filming this new one because I just wanted to get it out and over with. But anyway, sorry for the wait, and yeah, I'm even getting into cash now, and hopefully I will continue doing numismatics in the future. And without further ado, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for our next video. If I post, maybe.